never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Forgot to put myself up. That's a bit stupid, isn't it? And didn't even adjust my hair. I'm trying to get to a hairdresser. It's not working yet. How are you, folks? Hope life, the universe, and everything has treated you pretty well in the last 48 hours or so. My last 24 have been interesting. Yesterday afternoon, I got quite crook. Both myself and the dog, funnily enough. I'm dog sitting at the moment. I have Kobe. And I didn't eat his food. He didn't eat mine. Not quite sure what happened, but really crook through yesterday afternoon and into last night. Started feeling a little bit better late this morning, and obviously we're here now. I took the dog to the vet, didn't bother taking myself to the doctor, and the vet gave the dog painkillers. So I don't think I need painkillers, but maybe for you around me, you might want painkillers. I trust you are going very, very, very well indeed. The lovely Aussie Sue, who I think was second in the room tonight. Always first to remember, though, to please like, share, and subscribe to the show, folks. We do need your thumbs up. And sometimes, although you may think you've subscribed, if you go and check, you'll find you're not, because YouTube have a habit of unsubscribing you and de-notifying you. It's just a little habit they've developed with this channel and a few others over the last few years. So occasionally it pays to go and check that out. So if you could, that'd be great. G'day, Watley. You were first in the room tonight. Donald Trump derangement syndrome is certainly continuing. And yes, it does seem to have a new slant, the Messiah slant. So, now, we were warned, I've got to say, a little while ago that, pardon me, well, I should have done this earlier. We were warned a little while ago about the Messiah syndrome that might happen around Donald Trump. All I'll say to you is keep an eye out for 3 red heifers and an invite to Jerusalem for Donald Trump. And if that happens, we'll be having a vastly different conversation than the ones we've been having for the last 4 years, I can tell you. And Black Sheep will be doing backflips in his living room in Tasmania at the moment because I've brought that up. G'day to Adam, who is in the room tonight. Rachel, God love you. You are doing a marvelous job. And I was just thinking, watching some of the comments that you're putting up in the show, particularly here tonight, about protecting ourselves. I'm wondering if I shouldn't give you a call and set you up for a bit of a chat over the weekend, seeing I owe you a couple of shows this week. Maybe you'd like to be on. Expect a phone call from me. We can have a talk about what you're doing here and how we can best protect ourselves energetically. Is that the way you'd describe it? I guess it is. Against everything that's going on at the moment. And my wordy lordy me, folks, there is an awful lot going on at the moment. If it isn't madness in the political sphere, it is madness in a war sphere, and not just the 12-day war, as I think Israel and Iran are now going to refer to this, but I'm talking about Ukraine as well. There's some interesting shit going down with NATO, with Donald Trump over there at the moment. He's not turning up to any of the NATO meetings. He's just turning up to the dinners and waiting for those NATO people to turn up and have a bit of a chat with him. So be interesting to see how that goes. He's going to make them pay one way or the other. So tonight we are going to talk about a few interesting things. The Bearded Burbler is, or Bearded Burblers, was the theme for tonight's show. Not everybody may have seen it. Vince and I were talking during the week about how AI has become fairly useful to us in certain ways. I do not use AI voices, just saying. But I asked it to, Vince said, why don't you get AI to do a thumbnail for the show? And I thought, yeah, that's good. It'd be something different to usually see in my head on there. So I gave the show the title, The Bearded Burblers. I posted a picture of my head, of Vince's head, and of Tim Dwyer's head. And this, folks, is what it came up with. Now, at this stage, I shall bring in the Burbler and co, Tim. Gentlemen, I'm not completely sure we look anything like that.
Yeah, I think AI has got a wild imaginings.
Wow. I mean, that's, I mean, considering that I actually gave it photos of each of us, I mean, it's given me a full beard. It's given Vince hair.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I
Yep.
mean, it's improved my eyes. I'm not wearing my glasses. So I guess let's kick off with AI. How useful is AI in what we do today? Tim, you've been a bit of a fiddler with it too. Does it have its frustrations? Is it good, bad, or indifferent?
Look, let's start with the name of it. Artificial intelligence. Now we're struggling enough to get, official intelligence, let alone artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And anything artificial is not quite as good as the original. You can ask an artist or a counterfeiter or anything like that. Artificial does not. But being a computer program with all the algorithms that are available to it, it depends on what you put into it, clearly, as you've seen tonight, as to the answer you will get. And depending on, from my experience, you can always now learn to pick up what is AI in text and so forth in the way it's worded. And some of the abbreviation marks it's using, and subtle ones, but not the pictures and the little flowers and the everything else on it. The thing that AI lacks is heart and passion. It has neither. And so therefore it literally only ever takes or gives information based on dry text that somebody else has programmed in for it to use.
Yeah, and does it analyze other documents, like other things that may have been created either by it or that are available in the public domain to create whatever it's creating for you?
I'm not sure, but I think if you get a response back from AI and it says, da-da-da-da-da, would you like to look at this as a court document? Well, you go, yes, please. And so it brings up a different perspective of it. Do you want it put forward as a lecture topic? And it'll bring it up as a different format with different contextual bits in it as well, obviously gained from other places. Or you could then ask it, if you have a point, you could ask it to look at this particular point against you've got to be very specific, the 1900 UK Commonwealth Constitution of Australia or the American Constitution. But once you get very, very, you've got to nail it down to get very, very specific with it. So clearly it goes off and looks at other bits and pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes little samples left and right. Speaking of little samples left and right, I just wanted to thank you, Tim, for the work that you put in on helping us get our lottery together. Now, we had our first winner the other night. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I should. Congratulations to T. We're not going to say her name, but congratulations to her. She took off the first $750 prize, and Vince did some finagling in the background, and now people are able to buy 20 tickets if they so desire in the raffle.
Yeah, most of the people in the comments are asking for that. I'm going to be off for half a minute, so you guys talk. I'm just going to try and sort out a bug on my computer because the IT guy has got a problem. I'll be back.
Whoa.
That's artificial intelligence, Scotty.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, mate. Well, you go and do that, and we'll sort that out. And so I just want to show people how easy it is to I'll see if I can share a screen here. I'm already sharing a screen, so I won't share that one just yet. Okay, so all you need to do is go to merch.vofhq.com and go across the top bar there. You will see Sanctuary 750, and if you click on that link, it will take you straight to the page I'm posting up in the chat right now, where you can buy a ticket in the raffle. Now, tickets are only $2, and I think Sandy is in the chat from the Donkey Sanctuary. Sandy is not Sandy, but the donkeys are our charity recipient, so to speak. So I forget the exact percentage now, but there is a reasonable percentage of everything that is made out of this raffle goes to help the Donkey Sanctuary. The rest of it goes to pay for the costs to keep this show going, including Vincent, who does so much for us. If he ever heard me call him Vincent, he'd shoot me. Don't tell him I said that, all right? Including Vince, because he's done so much for nothing and continues to do so. So I want to make sure that the money that comes out of his pocket doesn't in future, and that's what this is really designed to do. So if you can help us out, we'd love to have you there. And that $750, we would love to know what you plan on doing with it. Are you going to take a weekend away, take your significant other for a weekend away? Are you going to put it into gold and silver? And if you are going to do that, can I suggest do it soon? If you haven't had a look recently at the Ainsley Insights section of ainsleyBullion.com.au, you'll get to them actually through the newsletter. But there have been some really interesting insights, particularly into the gold and silver markets in the last week or so. And now, Tim, I'm not sure how closely you follow it. I've been all over it for the last couple of weeks. Silver has been increasing, and the gold-silver ratio, which is the important number we sort of try and follow, has been dropping steadily down towards 90, which means it's 90 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. It has been up around 110. Right now it's sitting at 91.84. Silver is sitting at 55.68. Gold is sitting at $5,114.20. Now, the Ainsley Insight that I saw this morning indicates that we are nearing the end of this cycle where there is a little bit of a boom, a little bit of a bust, a little bit of a boom, a little bit of a bust. They're expecting there to be a little bit of a bust in the gold-silver ratio, meaning it's going to go up. That will mean the price of silver will go down. How far down? Well, it'll be interesting to see. Gold will go down too because it's lagging at the moment. It's not leading. Silver is leading the market at the moment, not gold. So silver will go down. Gold will follow it down. And then expect that bounce that we've been talking about for some time, a significant bounce. I'm not talking about $5 or $6. I'm talking more than $5 or $6. I'm talking a lot more than $5 or $6. Not tens of thousands of dollars, but certainly a significant increase. And the market is saying, all aspects of the market are saying this is coming sooner rather than later. So if you can, go to ainsleyBullion.com.au, buy online right now, and it will be delivered to you next week. Get it into your hot little hand. Or if you don't have the cash on hand right now to maybe do that, you can go and start an Ainsley Saver account, which is a way you can buy fractionally into gold and silver. A really great way, if you haven't got the cash on hand, to buy large chunks. And by a large chunk, I mean you might not have $40 at the moment or $60, whatever a silver coin costs you at the moment. I think it's $62. So when I started talking about gold and silver, they were under 40. That's only 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I think I said in last night's show, silver has increased 12% in the last 3 weeks. And I can't figure it out because I'm shithouse with percentages. But from January, it must be 30 or 40%. So, yeah, quite ridiculous. Anyway, get into it, ainsleyBullion.com.au, and you'll get yourself a bit of a discount if you mention me or the Voice of Freedom. And keep an eye out, My Place people. Ainsley Bullion are coming to a My Place near you soon, and they tell me that they might drag me along with them. So watch this space. We shall see what happens. But yeah, Tim, thank you very much for all the work that you put in, particularly on the legal side.
That's all good, mate. All good. And, $750. All right. It's not the $1 million lottery, but for $2, you're never going to know if you don't have a go. And the way I look at it, like, what does $750 buy you these days? Well, it'll get you some tires for your car. It'll pay the rent. It'll take the pressure off something. And as long as you don't go silly thinking you're going to capture the market and spend a fortune on the tickets, just play nicely. And as it clicks over and clicks over and clicks over, if you're putting in $2 to $10 to $20 to buy your tickets, it's going to a good cause. And your chance of winning is incredible in comparison to all the other lotteries out there. Yeah.
Well, you've got to. Well, essentially, if everybody comes on and buys 20 tickets, you've got a 1 in 35 chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost 1 in 37.5, actually.
Oh, 37.5.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Maths. Right. So look, odds are good. Odds are good. Now, just a little update since a couple of weeks ago when I did my Zoom calls and half the world lost its mind. And the other half were just buying popcorn. But anyway, I asked people to go onto my website and download the letterbox drops, flyers to the letterbox, right? And so we did that. And there's, what is there? There's 12 different flyers to be had to cut them off the pages. And the flyer pages had just on 1,000 views. Now, what will happen is they'll download their flyers, then go and print however many they want off that. And I've already had people emailing saying that they've already put out 6,000 flyers, 2,000 flyers, 5,000 flyers. But what's interesting is I'm seeing a massive increase in the legal document page has now taken off. There's been 1,600 people come to that page in total. And on the Freedom of Information documents, that's just hit 1,000 people visited that page, right? Now, those numbers are starting to pick up, and that I believe to be an absolute direct result of the flyers going out. So people are getting them in their letterbox, and the flyers are going out. So that's one update. Second update, this is fresh. This is very fresh. We have got a weekend coming up in Colac in Victoria, which will be the last Saturday of July. I think it's the 26th of July. And we've got room for about 200 people. The tickets won't be overly cheap because there'll be food supplied. And we have, hopefully there'll be 3, maybe 4 speakers, of whom the keynote speaker will be eminent Professor Augusto Zimmermann.
Wow.
Right. Now, Augusto Zimmermann is the absolute pinnacle of constitutional law in this country. And I just spoke with him this morning. We got it organized. So Augusto will fly in, and we're trying to tie up another venue in the north of Melbourne, which will take 300 to 400 people. We haven't got it yet, but we'll find something out there in the next few days, and then the flyers will be put out. And so that'll be the 26th and 27th of July. And for the Colac venue, it'll be probably, I don't know, $40, $50 a ticket. Got to pay for the venue, got to pay for the food, got to pay for Augusta, got to do all these things. And that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. We don't have a costing for Melbourne yet, but that's going to happen. So we're moving ahead with what we're doing. I'm not publicizing a whole lot of anything too much at the moment, only to say that the brain power that's going into this next move, which, how do I put it, which will actually give us an incredible advantage in resetting the parliament, is one thing. And I was really encouraged just before when you were talking, there was a lady, I can't remember who she was, put up in the post about mindset and keeping your vibrations high. Right? Let me give people a little insight here. I don't know. Well, I do know why I haven't crashed, and that is because of my PMA. And that's not a private members association. That's a positive mental attitude.
Yep.
Right? And your attitude will determine your altitude, and it's all yours. You get to control it regardless of the outside circumstances. And I often use, for myself and for others, EFT, the tapping, to get rid of the negative, wipe out the negative, insert the positive. And I do listen a lot to speakers on YouTube like Jim Rohn and Les Brown. Some of these people have got some fantastic philosophies for life and easy workable programs, so as that you got to remember, no matter what's going on in the world, your mind is both a receiver and a transmitter. And whatever you transmit in your mind, it has to come to pass. Might not come to pass tomorrow or the next day, but it goes out there in the ether and it is happening either for you or to you. And so there's that. So I just want to encourage people to work hard on their attitude, stay away from the fear porn, and literally know that you have the power of life and death in your tongue. As a man thinketh, so is he. One other thing, H2Y is just an update. We will be next week, at the end of next week, we'll be sending our first hydrogen units to India.
Oh, wow.
For India Rail to test.
Wow, on their diesel locomotives.
Yeah, on their diesel locomotives, on the gen sets running the stations and all the stuff. And so we have been busy. We have been busy. Absolutely. We've been doing a bit.
I don't think anybody ever accuses you of not being busy. Well, your wife, maybe. Your wife.
Yeah, Corinne gets up me sometimes, but that's all right. But she's allowed to. She has license.
I know you've got somewhere else to be tonight, so you did promise me half an hour, and I reckon you've probably given me just about all of that. So if you have to shoot off, we'd be happy to let you go. Thank you for a little. Why
don't you love me anymore?
Oh, mate, you can stay as long as you like. I'm not trying to shove you off.
No, mate, I do have to go. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'll let you scoot. Give you my best to your other half, wonderful lady that she is, and LifeWave. We should just point out very quickly they've made a few changes there. So people who are in LifeWave with me, the patches, the X39 patches. There've been some significant changes in the way you can make $1 out of that.
Absolutely.
Tim, do you want to just explain quickly how that works for people?
All right. So what they've done is they've done a revamp on the entire bonus structure. And one of the key things they've done is they've made a provision for what is called a preferred customer. Now, that's somebody who, oh, yeah, I like the idea, but I don't want to be part of a network. I don't want to have to sign up or, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, what they've done is we have now a different link just for customers. They can go on there and a customer can buy the X39 patches at the same price we do, $99 US, plus freight and all that stuff. So they get it at the same price we do. But what LifeWave are doing is giving you and me and any of the distributors who have customers $20 per sleeve of patches that a customer would buy. Right? Now, that's one thing. So if you had 10 customers and they bought a sleeve each month and you're making $20, you're making $200 a month just out of the customers, right? American. Yeah, that's US dollars, right? Now, there's other things as well they've changed the bonus structure. I'm not going to try and bog you down with the details of that. But what we did, Trevor and I worked it out, that if you had 6 brand partners, 6 distributors who had 5, who had 4, and each of those had 5 customers, the new system versus the old system, you're over $10,000 a year better off. So they're putting more money in the bottom for the lower ranked distributors to earn more money at an earlier stage. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
Right.
So, question.
Okay.
Yes, Vince.
When you say $10,000 a year better off, that's over and above what you would have made before.
Yeah, that's right. That's $10,000 above what you would have made before.
Yeah. Just it's not $10,000 a year. It's
no. It's plus. Yeah. So they've been very, very diligent. It took them 3 years to work this process out and make sure it was right. And they had 3 different lots of consultants go through it and work it all out and model it. And it's got a lot of people pretty darn excited.
Sounds like it. That's Trevor the prepper, who's clearly not watching the show.
All righty, guys. Listen, thank you, Carl, for being on. Thanks, Vince, and all the best with the raffle. And I sincerely hope that the donkeys really enjoy the revenue, and may the revenue continue to increase. And everybody here on the in the chat tonight, why wouldn't you grab that link of Carl's and email it out to your mates and say, listen, this came across my desk, thought this might interest you, this is pretty awesome. And if everybody in the chat sent that to 5 or 10 people in their email list, that might get it out there a bit more, mate.
Well, that's right. And there's nothing that says Sandy can only be paid once a week. So if we can get this churning over, 2 or 3 times a week, then the donkey will be able to afford. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out exactly, because Vince, you figured out the figures today, but there was a few things we've got to pay license fees and other stuff, just this one-off thing. So we'll figure all that out. But it'd be interesting to know exactly how many hooves we can farrier, or how many mouths we can feed, or how many bales of hay we can buy with whatever it is that comes up through the raffle. And there is a lot more to it than just that. These animals require a lot of care. So
she lost one today. Apparently, I was speaking with Sandy earlier today, just to let her know that the money is on the way, that it's been sent off to her bank account, and she was super appreciative with the percentage that she got from the people, because of the fact that they were buying in bulk. It meant we were able to send quite a bit more to her because we had much less fees. So she was really impressed with that. So
so just explain the fee structure thing again then.
Sorry,
just explain the fee structure again, so the best way for the donkey sanctuary to get the best outcome. Okay,
so for every ticket we sell through our merch store, if Stripe will take 1.7% of that ticket fee. So for $2, that's like 2.4 cents. Okay, but they charge us a 30-cent credit card fee. So if you buy one ticket, it costs 32.4 cents. However, if you buy 20 tickets, it'll be 20 times by the 1.7, which is probably about 10 or 11 or 12 cents, somewhere around that. But they only charge us one 30-cent fee, right? So therefore, it really only costs 34 cents, say, for 20 tickets, where one ticket costs us 32 cents. So you see the difference? And of course, if we sell a lot more tickets in bulk, then that means less fees for Stripe and more for the charity.
That's the way it works. So, Sandy, God love you. I'm glad things are.
Hello, Sandy.
It's getting drier in your part of the world. And yeah, I can't say that I could be much happier the fact that we're able to help contribute in some way to help with those donkeys, especially Disco.
All right, guys, I got to go. Love you lots.
Mate, have fun. Have a nice weekend. And Timothy has disappeared. People keep an eye out. We'll keep you abreast of his travel times when he's heading to Colac and Melbourne for that run that he was mentioning there before. But that should be a good night down in Colac. Fairly chilly time, I would suspect, at late July. If my memories of Colac in July are anything to go by, it was always bloody cold. But so was the whole southwest coast of Victoria at that time, if I'm honest. Now, since yesterday, when I was going to be here to have a chat and got a bit crook, a lot of things happened. Donald Trump has done, well, I don't know whether he's set back politics or moved it forward, Vince, by showing his complete honesty, calling out both Israel and Iran for breaking the ceasefire and not letting Israel off the hook. And then using expletive language to describe them as children who really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, you got to think about it. When the president of the most powerful army in the world swears at you, I think you might have got him a little upset.
Yeah. Now, there are some very, very, very clever people who have come together and created, well, don't they always, a beat mix of Donald Trump, which I'd like to show you.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
Now, there is actually a second verse to all of this as well. I mean, these guys, and God bless creative people is all I can say.
They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs like I've never seen before. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when they say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. The biggest load that we've seen.
The biggest load that we've seen. Anyway, that is floating around on the socials if you want to go and have a look at the whole thing. I just love what creative people do. Yeah, it's all a bit of fun.
And do we know who they were or whatever? Can we give them a shout out?
I don't know who they are at the moment. That was a TikTok-y thing that it came from.
Right, okay.
But I can't actually tell you who it was. And it should have been on the clip, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe. Oh,
well,
no,
shout out to whoever they were. Well done.
Absolutely. Well done. It was probably AI.
Oh, probably. And there's a whole interesting story on that, but I won't get into that now. I had to duck off because when you guys were talking AI, I was trying to fix my computer. The other part that I find interesting is that all the papers and a lot of the people were talking about Donald Trump's I'll make a decision within 2 weeks. And everybody was going, 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. And then he dropped bombs. And you called it, Carl, because you did call it. You said, see what happens this weekend. Nobody took into account, he said, within 2 weeks. So any time within 2 weeks, people need to listen to what's being said.
Indeed. Words mean things. We've been saying that on this channel, well, since it started, really. So words mean things, and if you don't know what they mean, you could be in deepest, darkest, because they mean, well, spelling is known as spelling for a reason. They use words in spells, remember? So, yeah, there's a whole heap of things that have been hidden from us, although a lot more of it is coming to notice, I must say. A lot more of it is, a lot more weird archaeological finds seem to be popping up. The world is setting itself on fire, and if it's not setting itself on fire and erupting left and right, then its mountains are falling down onto glaciers, which are falling down into valleys and onto towns. What's going on? Is this the apocalypse?
Well, if it is, did it start in 2020 and goes to 2027? That's the question.
Well, I'm led to believe that, I hesitate to give dates, folks, but this one seems like an important one. Apparently, it all comes to an end, which is going to be really disappointing. So on July 4th, it all comes, Nasara Jasara, this is what I hear, comes to life. Donald Trump will proclaim the world a wonderful and happy and safe place. Israel and Iran will embrace in friendship and live happily ever after. Russia and Ukraine will probably just do the same. That's all scheduled for July 4. July 5, the end of the world, is what I'm hearing.
Isn't July 4th Independence Day?
It is, yes.
Oh, why would they pick that one? I wonder. Yeah, all right.
Yes. So, I don't know. Donald Trump used to like going to Mount Rushmore for Independence Day celebrations in his first term. I don't know that he's planning to go back there again this time or any time. But Rushmore has played a bit of a role in all of this history. There are things hidden in Mount Rushmore, we're led to believe. So,
Biden's
July 4th. Yeah, true that. And isn't the US Congress nailing the bureaucracy over the use of that auto pen?
Oh, just going for it. So, it's really interesting what they're chasing up. And it could make so many of his executive orders illegitimate because they won't have a record of him confirming they're allowing him to use the auto pen.
Yeah. So that'll mean, I think there was over 1,000 criminals he let out on the streets.
I'm more interested in one called Fauci, to be honest.
Well, all of those pardons, null and void. Thank you very much. And not just Fauci, that whole sick crew. Speaking of sick crews, we're run by a bunch of sick bastards. And I say run, like slaves are run by their masters. Our master is not really a great master. He's just a very little peanut on the side of the gallery that's happening at the moment with G7 and other world operations. But they are making an impact at home still. You might remember last year, Albo and crew decided they were going to ban our young'uns from social media. Now, Vince, I thought that YouTube was going to be missed in all of this. I thought that YouTube, because they do have certain security standards in place, might be able to get through. But you're telling me that's not the case.
Yeah, no, that is actually what's come up. Our wonderful internet czar, and I'm pretty sure that's her there in the bottom of the picture. Yeah. She has talked Albanese into not excluding YouTube. Remember, she's American. She's not even bloody Australian, right? So, sorry, just getting a little on my high horse here. But she's talked them out of not even on it. I mean, what right do they have to censor our children? It's my bloody job. Even though I don't have to worry about it because all my kids are 18 or over now.
And she's also been lucky to escape. She's also been lucky to escape the drama that Avi caught her in. He had a WhatsApp communication with her where he discovered she was using the secret messages function of WhatsApp, where the messages that you send and receive delete themselves after a certain period of time. Now, she, as a government official, has to keep all her communications. So what is she doing? Communicating using the, secret disappearing ink app in WhatsApp. But because it was Avi who she had this with and he discovered, mainstream media didn't cover it at all. I mean, I think he reported it to the federal police, but I don't know whether or not there is any investigation going on about it. I know she made some little bleating noise about, but whether or not she's still doing it. And you're right. Who the hell is she, the arbiter of all things Australian, to come in from? She might be married to an Aussie. I don't know. But I would have thought we could have found our own e-safety commissioner.
More the point, is she an Australian citizen?
It won't matter. She's a bureaucrat, so.
Yeah, but should be something about that.
I just don't think it would matter. I could be wrong.
That's like setting up the head of the Lands Titles Office and making him Chinese from getting a guy over from China to do it. Right? Nothing against Chinese people in Australia, but somebody who's fully in and under a certain Xi Jinping's regime. But
yeah.
So that's one part. But apparently they're taking that out. And we have a second piece of wonderful Australian news.
She's a dual citizen, apparently somebody's just saying in the text. Yes, more great Australian news.
Oh, sorry, that's still on the first one. That's just talking about
I beg your pardon?
harmful content. This one, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Australia is about to deploy 100 soldiers to go and help Ukraine in its bloody war against Russian aggression. Could they be any more dramatic? Seriously, folks, could they be any more dramatic in their headlines? I'm sure they could. At the request of NATO and Poland, Australia will deploy a Royal Australian Air Force E-7A wedge-tail aircraft. That's a radar airborne control aircraft in August, along with 100 Australian Defence Force personnel, most of whom would be required to keep that jet running in the air. All part of Operation Kudu. The deployment is designed to protect an international gateway for humanitarian and military assistance into Ukraine and will not be direct combat roles. The deployment is expected to conclude in November, when they expect the war to end, obviously, and will complement Australia's more than $1.5 billion of money we've pissed up against the Ukraine since Russia decided that Ukraine could stop killing its Russian people and did something about it. Absolutely disgusting.
$5 billion. What?
And counting.
F. I mean, How many houses can you build with $1.5 billion? Not to mention that most of our housing builders and corporations are going bust.
Yeah. And how many Aussies could you house with that money, as Joanne has just said in the chat?
Yep.
It is disgusting. All the excuses that this government will give not to help out Australians, but God, they'll help out the Ukraine. They're not helping out the Ukrainian people here either, people. Understand that. This money is going to some nameless, faceless government bureaucrat, of which Zelensky will get a portion, but only a small portion. There are bigger names than him it'll be going to. You can be sure of that.
Did you see him in the NATO photos? He's bought himself a suit.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's a ninja suit, but it's a suit.
Yeah. Just he did look like a complete bloody clown. And I think he was treated a bit like a clown on the sidelines of the G7 too, except for those countries where obviously Australia has been funneling in a huge amount of cash. So we were greeted like, the long-lost red-headed stepchild by the EU proponents, the French, the German, the Canadian Prime Minister, who all seem to have deep and abiding love for Donald Trump when he's standing in front of them. But as soon as he isn't standing in front of them, they don't seem to recognize anything at all. And I don't know that the EU has started a trend today by referring to him as daddy.
That's Trump you're talking about, not...
Yeah.
It's that is so funny. I mean, is it Hex staff was sitting there beside Trump when he got asked a question about that from the audio, from the press, and you could see Pete Hesterff was just cracking up laughing about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So do we think this is just a European thing? Daddy comes in and does a bit of spanking.
Yeah, well, he did some spanking, all right. He's making them, cough up your own funds for this war, you stupid little... sorry, I'll stop that sentence.
Well, do we think they're going to? That's the big question, because he did put up a graph.
They have.
Well, no, they say they are, but will they? That is the $64,000 question. They say they are, but will they?
Well, it's like everything else that's hidden. We can't see the figures. I mean, it's only our money that's going over there. It's the same with
true. The UK Prime Minister Starmer, whatever his name is, he said that yes, we will rejig it so that we get to 5%. I think that's what he's demanded, 5% of GDP for the European nations. So they're not going to allocate any more money. What they're going to do is just fiddle the budget, fiddle the books to make it look that way. But it's not going to actually increase the budgets or allow the defence forces to purchase any more weapons, which they seem to be really good at firing off. Not UK so much at the moment, but a few others. So how's this going to affect us going forward?
Well, I don't know. I got myself a little lost there. I was just thinking about another thing I saw today, which I'll talk about in a sec. If they rejig their budget and they add their more money, maybe they could, they're supplying is supposed to be for their own protection. They're not creating wars. NATO's supposed to be a peacekeeping thing, right? Not a war-making machine. But like everything, these things, they say one thing and do the opposite. So,
well, I think what Trump is trying to do is to get each country to lift their own spending on defence to 5%. And then that way, each of those countries can contribute quite freely to NATO without America's contribution needing to be the major one. It'll just be another one. So they're squealing, of course, like stuck pigs because, well, in fact, they're stuck pigs and they don't like, and they've been stuck publicly a number of times by him now, and whether or not they stay stuck, because they are slippery, greasy little pigs. And they do manage to get themselves out of a stuck predicament with monotonous regularity, I have to say. It does upset me a little bit. G'day, Wayno. I didn't know you were in the chat. Nice to see you in. Wayno from Wilmo, the slot car extraordinaire, although he's probably not the extraordinaire. Black Sheep certainly is that. He's been working hard on his slot car and the new... he's got a number of projects. He's put in a lift into his house so he can get his dad from upstairs to downstairs and downstairs to upstairs. A magnificent contraption, I've got to say. And he's building trains, like magnificent train sets, slot car sets, huge slot car sets, and the detail involved in all the stuff he's putting around those tracks and train tracks too is amazing. So I take my hat off to people who have that sort of attention to detail and can still pull a hobby together from when you're a kid through to adulthood. I just think that's bloody awesome.
It's called a computer. That's my hobby. I was about 16, but
see, I had one. It was
cool. I want to bring to your attention that you're probably not aware of. Wonderful Kim Hanton, who you've had on this show before and was running for politics and bits and pieces. Him and two other coppers or ex-coppers have got a podcast on their hands-on experience called The Three Little Pigs. I was listening to an episode today, which is to do about where's our gold. Appropriate subject, right? Over in England, obviously. But something they raised that I was not aware of. apparently the Muslim community in Australia has its own bank. And they will give out loans at 0 interest to help other Muslims. And can be anyone else. I have to say, can be anyone else as well, providing it's kosher, right? Buy businesses, houses, do whatever.
Hang on a minute. It's a Muslim bank which will fund kosher things?
Yeah, I know. I realised that was a Jewish term, but
right. Okay. So
it was,
okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. I was just trying to confuse the audience. See,
yep.
It proves you listen. Words mean something.
Yeah, I do listen. I listen.
But, yeah, but they have their own banking system. Isn't that interesting? And it's been around for quite some time. How come we never heard about it?
It was probably because we're funding it.
Well, I believe that's part of it, somewhere along the line. But how can they do a 0 interest thing? Don't they have to abide by the laws of this country?
Well, they might.
Anyway, it's an interesting
usury, as somebody pointed out before, usury is illegal it's illegal everywhere, but the Muslims actually really do believe it. So that would be in line with that. Guess what you have to give up if you fail on your repayments? Yeah, well, they come around, they take a hand or a finger, mate.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. But yes, usury is part of the reason why they don't do interest. Exactly. Unlike the rest of Australians who are paying exorbitant amounts.
Silver Fox says they aren't loans, they are front-loaded rent-to-buy agreements.
Oh, okay. So, I don't know much about it, but it would be interesting to do a little bit of a dive in on that at some stage. Might do that for an FBN thing.
Yes, be worthwhile having a bit of a look at. All right, mate. Well, do you have deep and meaningful plans for the weekend? Have you got exciting things coming your way?
Well, we've got coin toss, which still nobody has guessed why it's called coin toss, which we'll be having a bit of a chat about. And I'm not an XRP fan, but there's some pretty exciting news in there. So that's one thing. Also trying to put together this little show about smart meters, and hopefully if I can get a hold of someone from one of the people or one of the companies that do actually use smart meters properly, I might be able to get some more information on that. Outside of that, I've still got to try and arrange for new merch and get that email sent off, find out what the costs are, and see if I can rearrange our merch store. Oh, speaking of which, at least I'm wearing our merch, mister.
Yeah, both of mine are in the washing machine 2 feet to my left. So they'll be hung out tomorrow, but not much used now, but yeah, hung out tomorrow. All right, mate. Well, people can go to our merch.vofhq.com website and make an order. We only need a couple more hoodies to send in an order, don't we? And we are working on getting a couple of new images that you might be able to select yourself to put on there. I personally am looking forward to getting, I'll get the one that's spelt right. Here's AI going off itself again.
Well, maybe actually you should leave it at that, because theoretically Australia needs to have a bit of testicular fortitude.
I would agree with that. So, oh God, get off. So yes, there are a few little interesting AI images that we've been working up over the last week or so, playing around with. So we'll see if we can make something up. It could be a bit of fun. The Rothschilds. What are you saying here, Truther? Okay, well, we'll dig into that a little bit too. Be interesting to find out if they do have anything to say with it. They are data gathering units, so God knows they do love data gathering, that mob, although usually through the financial sense of things. Aussie Sue, love you. Have a lovely weekend. I hope you go really well. And Sunflower, coin toss equals the decision between two alternatives.
Nope. A good try, Sunflower.
I thought that was a very good try. All right. Well, thank you again, mate, for why give AI any extra ability to know me? Well, mate, if it's going to come up drawing pictures of me like the one we showed you tonight, of the information that I gave it,
mate,
I'd be pretty happy if my photo fit came out like that.
I'm happy.
Let AI go hard. It'll
Yeah,
be a pain in the ass when it goes. It'll be a pain in the ass when you've got to be, photo ID'd by the AI to pay for your petrol, if you can get any at the petrol station, because I won't look anything like that bastard. But that could be a bit uncomfortable. No, I'm very careful about what I do with AI and what information I put into it. I have, if you ever hear my voice on an AI, please let me know, because I've spent a long time making sure they can't use my voice on an AI. And should they ever clone it in some way, then
that's your IP, mate. It's yours.
Yeah. And very shortly we might be able to give people a bit of a taste of what my reading.
Oh yeah,
usually does.
I have listened to something that Carl's producing. Let's just say I think you'll love it. All right. I've still got to have a listen to a couple more. He did ask for some feedback and he's made a couple of changes, but yeah, you're going to like this. This is going to be good. And the story to it, very interesting. And before I do the waving wonder, because he wants me to be the waving wonder and leave, please don't forget the Donkey Sanctuary and the fact that we have this here, $750. It went out to the wonderful T today. She's going to write us a little email saying hopefully what she spent it on. She hasn't been back yet, but that's been transferred. The Donkey Sanctuary's been paid for. The licensing fees for everything that we needed to have been has been paid for. And even still, I think I've got a little bit of money for hosting. Hey, thanks.
Whoa.
Thanks a lot. Yahoo! So please go in there. Do yourself a favor. Win yourself $750. Right? It will come in so handy. I know what happened when I got $800 on a thing back for something to do with smart meters, actually. And that came in at just the right time to pay a bill. So, yeah.
Well, I really hope we can help people just like that. Time to pay a bill, need a little bit of help to go away, have a break for a weekend, buy the kids something special, have a birthday party,
exactly.
whatever. Well, I just want to be able to help. I'm so pleased that we can. And I want to say thank you to Becky O from Truth Seeker TV, who's in the chat being very abusive. She wants to see pictures of me in a mankini, or an AI created me in a bikini. This is a very sick woman, people. I mean, listen to what she wants. She wants to see me in a bikini.
I think I'll have to do that for Becky. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe I'll go and have a chat.
Truly sick. Truly sick.
All right. So don't forget those questions, things from Tim's website, right? Our merch store. And with that, I will do, and it's time to say goodbye from me.
Bye-bye from him. The Waving Wonder says goodnight, just as Wayno from Wilmo suggests a see-through hoodie. Oh, my God. Doris will be into it. Yeah, well, yes, Doris might well be into it also. Well, no, let's not go down that road. Thank you, Beck. We'll see what we can come up with. I have no doubt over the next few days I will be inundated with AI attempts at me in a bikini. I might even have a bit of fun with it. So, yeah, folks, please, love to have you as part of the lottery, but only if you could do with $750 and you don't mind helping out some donkeys. The link has been posted numerous times into the chat. I will post it one more time right about now. But the easiest way, if you're not seeing it in our links in the chat, is to go to merch.vofhq.com and look for the Sanctuary 750 across the top menu line. Click on that and it'll take you straight to the page where you can buy yourself 1 to 20 tickets for $2 each and go in the draw to win 750 Nicker. And if we can get these things turning over, we will actually increase the prize money at some stage, and we'll put up a couple of extra things. Sandy has posted out the Donkey Sanctuary Pack 2T, our first winner, and everybody who wins while we're associated with the Donkey Sanctuary, and they are our charity. Sandy has offered to send everybody a Donkey Sanctuary pack to give you a bit of an idea of what goes on there. It's worth about $50. So it's got a plush toy in it, amongst other things, a bit of reading material, some stickers and some fridge magnets and some other bits and pieces. So can't thank Sandy enough for that. And there you go. Sandy's just telling me there's 185 tickets gone so far. So, folks, that's 25 to 200. So we've got 525 tickets left to sell before we can have another draw. $2 each. Please go and check it out right now at the link that I've just posted again up in the chat. And thank you for your support, both for the Donkey Sanctuary and Voice of Freedom and FBN, because that's essentially what we'll be doing to put it all together. Now, some of you might be aware that there's some issues going on with Guru at the moment. Now, he's been a bit crook. I think he's taken the week off. I haven't given him a call this week. I meant to, but I've just been flat out with various things and then got crook myself yesterday. So I hope to catch up with him tomorrow. I'll see if we can get him on for a bit of a chat and see how Life the Universe is going. He's been using those X39 patches. Last time we spoke, he said he was feeling some reduction in size to the thing, and he thought that the patches were really helping. So I'd like to find out more if that is the case. I know he's been trying a lot of things, and prayers are with him. He's also had a bit of bad luck legally in the last week or so. So I'll reach out and see whether or not we can help him in some way or shape there, but might be a bit tough from what I'm hearing. So Guru, thoughts are with your brother, and look forward to talking to you in the very near future. Same to you, folks. If you're heading out to go and do anything loud, outrageous, then do it at least calmly. Safely just seems far too serious, but at least do it calmly. And wherever you do it, beware, the dickheads are out there. They're not just limited to the roads.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!